welcome to another Kids Club at Home. We've got lots of exciting things for you today. We've got another story that Jesus told. We're going to have some prayer. We've got a memory verse to learn. We've got a craft to do. And we've got a game. But first of all, on your feet, because we're going to start with a song.
So we're going to play a song called Love the Lord Your God. So let's just practice the actions. So this is the action for love. The action for Lord your God. That's it. The action for heart. The action for soul. The action for mind. And the action for all mankind. Should we do one more time? Action for love. Action for Lord your God. The action for heart. Action for soul. Action for mind. And action for all mankind. So we're going to play the song 4 times and it's going to get a bit faster as we go through it. Let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind, and love all mankind as you love yourself, and love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul and mind, and love all mankind. We've got Christian lives to live, we've got Jesus Christ to give, we've got nothing to hide, because in Him we abide. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind, and love all mankind, and love yourself, and love Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul and mind, and love all mankind. We've got Christian lives to live, we've got Jesus Christ to give, we've got nothing to hide, because in Him we abide. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul and all your mind, and love all mankind, and love yourself, and love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul and mind, and love all mankind. We've got Christian lives to live, we've got Jesus Christ to give, we've got nothing to hide, because in Him we abide. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind, and love all mankind, and love yourself, and love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all your soul and mind, and love all mankind. We've got Christian life to live, we've got Jesus love to give, we've got nothing to hide, because in Him we abide. Love.
I love that song. Did you join in the actions? Next, we're going to have our story. So,
find a cosy chair to sit in. Put on your listening ears. And your thinking cap.
Hello everyone. You might remember that at Kids Club at Home we've been looking at the different parables or stories that Jesus told. Well, today we've got another parable and I need your help. When you see some words come up on the screen like this, join with us in saying them. Thanks. Jesus was teaching one day when a man in the crowd asked him a question. "Can you tell me, Jesus, what I have to do to live forever?" Jesus smiled. "Love God," he answered, "and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself." "But who is my neighbour?" asked the man, hoping to trick Jesus. "Is he just the fellow who lives next door?" "Let me tell you a story," Jesus said, "and I think you will understand. Once upon a time there was a man like any one of us, who was travelling from Jerusalem to Jericho. Now, as you all know, that is a very dangerous road. It's twisty and it's steep, and there's no end of places for robbers and thieves to hide. Well, the robbers were waiting that day, and they grabbed the man, and they beat him, and they took his money, and left him to die. Oh dear,
Oh dear,
sighed the crowd. They felt sorry for the man. Jesus went on with his story. In a little while, another man came walking down that road, a priest, on his way home from worshipping God at the temple. He saw the dying man, and what do you think he did?
He helped him.
Shouted someone in the crowd.
He saved him.
Shouted another. No, said Jesus firmly, he did not. He took one look at that poor beaten man, then crossed over to the other side of the road and walked away. Oh my!
Oh
my!
The crowd murmured. Wait, Jesus continued. Soon another man passed by. He served God at the temple too. So what do you think this man did when he saw the wounded traveller?
He ran for help.
Shouted someone.
He raised the alarm.
Shouted another. No, said Jesus again, he did not. Just like the priest, he crossed over to the other side of the road and left that poor man to die. Oh no!
Oh no!
The crowd sighed. Don't worry, said Jesus, for there was one more man who passed by that day, and he was a Samaritan.
A Samaritan?
Shouted someone.
They're different from us.
We hate Samaritans.
Shouted another.
And they hate us.
Added a third. So I've heard, nodded Jesus. But when this Samaritan saw the man, he did not walk away. No, he bandaged his wounds. He loaded him on his donkey. He took him to a nearby inn, and he paid for that man to stay there until he was well. Jesus looked at the man who had asked him the question. So tell me, he said, which of these men was a neighbour to the man who had been robbed? The third one, the Samaritan, the man answered. That's right, Jesus smiled, because my neighbour is anyone who needs my help. Now you go and help your neighbour too.
This is what you're going to do. You pick up your horse, you run. We're going to get the bandage, purse and your plaster, put them in the bag. You're going to get the bag on your back, pick up your horse, come to the person. Bandage and wrap it around the leg, and then you put the plaster on his head, and then you come with the person. Come to the place and you open the door and you put him in. Get your purse. Then you take your 2 coins. Put them in, and then you run back.
Good Samaritans, are you ready?
Ready.
Are you steady?
Steady.
Go! Rosie is the winner!
Are you ready, Samaritans?
Yes!
Are you steady, Samaritans?
Yes!
Go!
Nikki is the winner!
Are you ready, Samaritans?
Yes!
Are you steady, Samaritans?
Yes!
Go!
My passport's stuck with sticky tape! I need to help the man! Okay.
Thank you to Rosie and Zoe and Paul and Nikki for your game. Did you spot the things from our story in their obstacle course game? Maybe you could make a game like this to help you remember the story. Our story today was all about love. Now, our song reminded us that we should love the Lord our God with all our heart and soul and mind and strength, and that is the most important thing you could do with your life. But actually, our story today was mainly about loving our neighbour. So, are my neighbours just the people who live next door? That's what someone in the crowd asks Jesus. But if you were listening to the story carefully, you will have seen that our neighbours could be someone from far away. So, let's set the scene. Here's the poor man, beaten and left by the side of the road. 3 men walk by. Man number 1, a priest, on his way back from worshipping in the temple. Man number 2, an expert in the law. Man number 3, a Samaritan. That means he's from Samaria, a foreign country. He's not even a Jew. Now, you would have thought that man number 1 or man number 2 would have helped the injured man, but we all know it was man number 3. He became known as the Good Samaritan. He didn't work at the temple. He wasn't an expert in the Jewish law. He wasn't even a Jew. He definitely wasn't a next-door neighbour. In fact, he was from a completely different country, a country that didn't even like Jews. But this man was different. He saw someone who needed help, and it didn't matter where he was from. He went out of his way to care for him. He bandaged up his wounds and he put him on his own donkey. He took him to an inn and paid for him to stay there until he got better. This man did more than he needed to do. He showed real love to his neighbour. So how can we be like this Good Samaritan? Well, in the Bible, there's a long passage that tells us all about love and how we can show love to other people and be a good neighbour to the people around us. One of the things it says is, love is kind. So, how can we be kind like the Good Samaritan? Let's have a think. Here are 5 scenarios. How could you help if someone is left out of a game? Yes, you could ask them to come and play with you. How could you help if your mum is really busy and flustered and got so much to do? Yes, you could help her out. Maybe you could unpack the shopping or lay the table. Number 3, how could you help if someone you know is upset? Yes, you could listen to them, comfort them, reassure them, be patient with them. Number 4, how could you help if one of your classmates has lost their water bottle? Yes, you could look out for it, couldn't you? And you could help them find it. Number 5, how could you help if you see on TV that in some countries, poor countries, they have no clean water to drink? Yes, you could raise money for a water aid charity. Watch out in your life every day for the chance to help someone. Let's ask God for some help. Dear God, thank you for Jesus' story about the Good Samaritan. He showed us that everyone is our neighbour. Help us to be like him and spot when we can help someone out. Amen. Now it's over to Lauren for a memory verse.
Love much. Luke 10:27. Love as yourself, you, and love as God neighbour your. Love your neighbour as much as you love. Love God and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself. Luke 10:27. Love God and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself. Luke 10:27. Love God and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself. Love God and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself. Love God and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself. Luke 10:27. Love God and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself. Luke 10:27. Love God as much as you love your... No. Love God and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself. Luke 10:27. Love God and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself. Luke 10:27. Love God and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself. Luke 10:27. Love God and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself. Luke 10:27. Love God and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself. Luke 10:27. Love God and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself. Luke 10:27.
We're going to finish off today with our craft. But before we do that, let's have a look at some of the crafts you made last time. So for our craft today, we're going to be making a little first aid pouch, which has got some plasters inside. If you have a look in the description for this video, you'll see a template that you can print out. But if you haven't got a printer, that's fine, because you don't need it. You can do it with just a piece of A4 card. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw a long rectangle on the piece of card. So probably about half the width of the card. And then if we measure maybe about 2.5 centimetres up, I'm going to draw a line across here, and then we're going to draw 2 tabs like that. Next you need to cut it out, or if you're using the template, just cut this out from the template. Alright, once it's cut out, see where we made the line here? What we want to do is just fold that over like that, and then with our little tabs we want to fold each little tab in like that. We're going to put some glue on the tabs there, and then stick those down, and then that should make a little pocket there. And then with the rest of the card, we're going to fold that down in half like that. We just want to trim off the edge here to make that bottom bit a little bit narrower. And then that should just tuck in there. And that's our little pouch. So once you've made the pouch, you can decorate it. So as it's a first aid pouch, I am going to put a red cross on the front, so you can decorate it however you like. And then on here I'm going to write our memory verse. Can you remember what our memory verse was? It was love God and love your neighbour as much as you love yourself. And that was Luke 10:27. So there's our pouch. Once you've made your pouch, we want some plasters to put in it. If you printed out the template, on there's some plasters that you can cut out and use. But if you didn't, you can draw a plaster. You just need to draw a long, thin rectangle, and you just want to make the ends just a little bit curved like that. Yeah? And then you want to do in the middle a smaller rectangle. There we go, to look a bit like a plaster. You can colour that in if you want to, and cut it out. So once you've made all your plasters, before we put them in the pouch, we're going to write on them. So you remember in our talk today, Janice was talking about how we can help other people, how we can be kind to them. So on our plasters we're going to write some different ways, some different ideas of how we can be kind to other people. Can you remember some of the ideas that Janice had? On here I'm going to write help your mum, and then I've got raise money for charity, ask a friend to play. They were all ideas from our talk earlier, weren't they? And then see if you can think of some of your own. So on this one I've put write a letter to your grandparents, and see what other ideas you can come up with. And then once you've done all your plasters, you can put them into your pouch, and that will give you ideas of how you can be kind to other people. We hope you've enjoyed being with us for Kids Club at Home. If you make the craft, we'd love to see some pictures. You can send them to us at kidsclubathome@yahoo.com. And don't forget, you can also check out our Vine Church YouTube channel and Facebook page to see what other activities we're doing as a church. Now it's time for us to go, but we hope you can join us in May for another Kids Club at Home.